Well, man, I know we talked a little bit about it and why we do what we do. But I think, for our conversation, just to recirculate it, it sits back around thinking about who you were when you were 10. And I think about the inspiration from the film. Yep. And it was so dope to kind of see you in the backyard and planting the seeds and kind of that origin of that story.
Yeah.
And, for this, it's all about like, so many of us grew up without necessarily being exposed to what's possible.
100%.
Right? Whether you like to make things, whether you are naturally a leader or just have a wild imagination.
Yeah.
A lot of times, just because of the circumstances that our families were, our parents, we grow up with basically go to some school and try to get a good job, whatever that is.
Yeah.
And no one can ever tell you what a good job is.
Yeah, for sure. They just like something that makes money.
Yeah.
They don't give a damn.
Bro, they don't care.
Doing nothing illegal.
Yeah. They're like, go.
Yeah.
But I'm miserable.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. I can learn about that all day.
So I want you to kind of just think as you, when you're telling stories, just think about like that young person that might be listening, that might be going through some of the things that you went through.
For sure. I mean, man, for me, I was blessed. I am blessed, every day through all trials, all tribulations, all moments that were unfortunate and, put me in a disadvantage when they did. Because I grew up loved on two different sides of my family. Like my mom and dad weren't together.
Okay.
So, I had a balance of both sides, literally. You know what I'm saying? Like literally was able to get my dad's perspective, literally get my mom's perspective, and not like a united perspective. And it worked in my favor. As a kid, some of those things would kind of stress me out and like.
Yeah, because you probably had friends that were like, they might have had different family dynamics.
Yeah, but then a lot of my friends either, some of my friends don't even have dads too. So, and it's like a lot of different things that would happen. I was more so like, okay, there's like, my mom and dad argue all the time. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I would be sad and, whatever. And I would wish they can just not argue. I'm just a kid just seeing them yell. I don't know what's going on. Just being emotional, right?
Yeah.
And then, but as I got older, I realized that them not being together was actually probably one of the best things that could happen to me. Because it gave me perspective and it gave me just a grand overview of different people and personalities and all type of things. And granted, I'm sure you can get that with parents that are together, of course, but it's still more like structured a certain way, because I'm sure when parents have kids, they have these conversations on how they want to raise their kids together. So there could be a compromise there. There could be, you know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
I didn't really have to get a compromise because my mom was able to be truly herself however she wanted to do, and my dad's able to be truly himself however he wanted to do.
And so you didn't feel necessarily that tension inside the household because they were actually able to be them full
it's just
selves.
like when they, when moments where we were together or tried to do stuff, things would go south because of their own whatever. But, here and there, it wasn't always like bad, don't get me wrong. But, I'm saying as a kid, I thought those things were like, again, a disadvantage and, not of service to me. But as I got older, I was able to understand like, okay, like understanding individuals as individuals, whether they're your mom, your dad, your brother, whoever, girlfriend, whoever, is very important, and very valuable, and beneficial in a lot of ways too, because you can, again, you just get that balance. You just get that.
You get that understanding.
Exactly.
And you also understand like humans,
exactly.
Right?
That's what it is.
My parents separated when I was 9, and I think for so long you think these are perfect people, right?
Yeah.
You think everything that they do should be perfect. And I think as you get more perspective, you understand like, oh, they're humans.
For sure.
We're gonna mess up.
And I had to grow up to get to that, because I've had moments where I thought, when I was younger, where I thought my dad was being the best dad. And I, and I thought my mom wasn't being the best mom. But as I, 28 years old, and as I'm growing to a man of my own, I'm like, okay, I can understand. After like, not idolize the mom title. I have to not idolize the dad title.
Right.
I have to get to a point where you say it's like, well, it's not degrading or belittling you. Of course, the respect and the love is there for those titles. But like you said, we're human.
Yeah.
So when you say human, to anybody that we look out, whether it was a homeless man that just walked by or the homies outside, like, it's the same level when you say human.
Yeah.
When you say mom, when you say dad, there becomes this
There becomes
hierarchy,
a whole other dynamic involved.
You know what I'm saying? When you say grandparents, it's like, oh, it's grandparents. When you say CEO, when you say this. But when you say human, it's like a blanket. It's really comfortable. Everyone feels the same. You know
That's
what I'm saying?
powerful.
So I know there was a couple parts of the question I think I kind of went back to the initial part, but in regards to, but I think that helps me get to my answer. And I think for me, it's like, when you talk about life and growth and just like those things, is like, and what we talked about, initially off camera was like, let's really identify with human first.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you start to idolize anything, and we've all been there.
Yeah,
I feel like we had to idolize something to understand like, oh, you're just a human too. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
And we all get there. And for me, it's like, it's funny because when people ask me, what kind of advice can you give or that kind of thing, my advice is don't ask for advice. And what I mean by that is, I'm trying to get people to understand, like, the answers to all your problems are actually you.
Wow.
On any level, good, bad, or ugly. You know what I'm saying? And I think that, and also what I mean is like, if you're asking for advice on, Kacey, I need advice and help on getting a t-shirt printed.
Okay.
That's different than asking me, how do I market my ideas? Right. You're asking me how to be yourself. And I'm like, and I always tell people, I'm like, yo, usually I was like, my only advice is, I'm like, yo, just look in the mirror. But it's deeper than that, right? And then what I really mean by that is like, your process and who you are is your marketing. And you notice now, all the corporate companies, everyone wants to get personable and deep. They want to get transparent. They want to get raw. They want to get. They want to be like, you know what? We know we haven't supported the Black community, so we really want to show, whatever the case may be, right? I'm not. That's just one topic, but all the marketing conversations now, from what I've been hearing, and mind you, I'm not in corporate conversations and that to that degree anymore. But everyone loves the I forget how they call it, but everyone loves like that real story,
right? They want organic, transparent,
all that stuff. When I was working in marketing coordinating, 2014. All we wanted to do was make money. That was the conversation.
Yeah.
How do we drive sales? No one cared about the community in that way. I mean, I've had those conversations. I've tried to do it in like because I naturally who I was, but I didn't have I didn't look at community and value and profit as the same.
You saw those as
two different things. I'm like, yo, we already make money, so why don't we do something more tangible for the community?
Yeah.
Like, it never worked, of course. And then now it's like, that's all I'm hearing. And that's why people love Bricks and Wood or Kacey, And so it's like,
where does that come from for you? Like, you naturally want to tell purposeful narratives, right? So, like, what was life like for you growing up in South Central? Like, what was that experience that has pointed you in that direction?
For me, well, for one, my origin of that is very balanced. I have the pleasure of understanding it and not getting too caught up in it to the point where it put me dead or in jail, or it put me in the mindset of where I am trapped within my own community or within my own people. And also, it gave me perspective of, making that choice. And my dad plays a big role in that because he had both. So he was able to be very honest and transparent about what it was, but also travel the world, what I'm saying, as a stylist and as a, just a marketing guy and a dancer when he was a dancer, the whole nine. So it was so many levels of, things that, maybe we lived in the hood, but I didn't know that as a kid.
Yeah.
The hood didn't become the hood until you got older and people
people labeled it.
Exactly. You're on the news, you're like, damn, it's really bad over here. But I was ripping around the same streets. Comfortably. I didn't have a bulletproof vest on. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was just outside, literally. So with that being said, I think for me, when it comes to like where I draw that mentality from, is more so like, I never knew how to not be myself. And it's crazy because it's like, sometimes not the most politically correct how I explain it. Sometimes, I feel like sometimes I'm a bit insecure about like how Black people might see my perspective of Black people. You know what I'm saying? But I'm like, I never went to school for anything that has to do with like the origin of Black people or political conversations or none of that kind of stuff. Like, I only knew was like, you know what? The worst thing that can happen is that I mess up, if I even technically mess up, it just doesn't work. But at the end of the day, I did what I wanted to do, and I'm being myself.
Where does that come from, right? Because, in so many ways, and I think I've had to work towards it quite a bit to get to the place where it's okay if it doesn't work out. It's not the end of the world.
For sure.
Because for so much of time, I would have this anxiety around those types of things. I feel like if you don't get it right this time, you don't get another shot.
Yeah, no, I think for me, a lot of that does stem from my pops. Because my mom's side was very more traditional, like you said, like go to school, get a job.
Yeah.
Whatever that job was, whatever those things were. Seeing my dad have his ups, has his downs, and still be respected as a human being the way he is to this moment is the most valuable thing than having a sneaker collab. I promise you, bro. I would much rather be looked at in the light that I see my pops than be like Kacey, the owner of Bricks and Wood. I promise you. It's not about that. I don't want to be defined. I don't like, of course, in a certain, optically speaking, when you see, if you do or do not know me, you're going to see, I'm going to say this. If you don't know me in a real way, you're going to see Kacey, the owner of Bricks and Wood.
Course.
He does these cool things, whatever you value is cool.
But that doesn't define Kacey.
No, exactly. So to answer your question, it came from me having that reflection of my pops and seeing like, damn, we might not be rich and all that, but we having a good time. I love kicking it with you. I love hanging out. I love how people, Kimball, what up? Ooh, I love that. You know what I'm saying? I talk about my dad a lot, but it's just my story. You know what I'm saying?
Man.
But for me, it's like, that's where it came from. It's like, when you be yourself, you are the truth. You find value in that. You find wealth in that. You know what I'm saying? And it's more valuable than however much money is in your bank account. You know what I'm saying? I think that was the part where I was like, okay, being human first is the most important, is the most valuable, is the most direct.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the part that like really, really, really holds weight, because I can't take my money to the grave.
You can't.
You know what I'm saying?
It stays here.
It stays
in physical
here.
form.
In physical form, whatever that stuff is. So I'm like, these things are good, but, get to know me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I think that's what keeps me with that perspective. It's like, no matter what, walk into every room itself.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? Every single time. So be as transparent, as honest as you decide to be.
Yeah.
There's levels to it, because there's certain information that just doesn't need to be out there. Of course, you gotta have that privacy, right? But at the same time, it's like, when I walk into a room, I already know what I'm willing to talk about, what I'm not willing to talk about.
What you're not willing to talk about. And what you're not going to sidestep.
Exactly. And what I'm not going to tiptoe around. So seeing that would help me be that, which then helped the conversations in corporate rooms where you're not nervous, you're not feeling timid, like, okay, I'm in here with Nike or something.
Yeah, how do I have to act?
Be yourself.
Be yourself.
They brought you in here for a reason. That's fine. And whether they value it or not, it's okay.
It's okay.
I'll tell you this. I don't know how much time we got, but
we good. Take your time.
So,
don't feel, get off whatever you want to get.
I'll tell you this. 2016, I had a job at Reebok. I was under a 1-year contract. I helped do marketing rollouts for the Kendrick Lamar campaign when he first got his sneaker deal with them.
Yep.
They flew me to the UK for the first time, all this stuff. So I was traveling a little bit. It actually got cut short. And it's funny because when we came in, I remember the first time they flew me to Boston, go to the campus. Saw this extravagant thing of like, oh, Boston, this crazy campus, the whole nine, right? You're like, damn, like I'm in these offices, whatever. So we're having these conversations. They're talking about why they chose us. They're like, yo, we don't want to like go to the celebrities for influencers. This is when influencers just start hitting the...
right. Digital influencers was like popping right then.
It was, oh my goodness. That was my first time ever hearing that term. And I remember thinking it was so dope. I'm like, oh, this is dope. This is people who aren't celebrities but get treated like celebrities. No, real shit. And I was like, oh, damn, this is fire.
Yeah, I remember this era.
Bro, I was like, oh, this is something I want to be a part of. I had no clue this was like a global conversation. I'm thinking like Reebok struck gold with something, right? I'm in the room.
Yeah.
And, we're having this conversation. And they're like, yo, just like hyping us up, the whole nine, blah, blah, blah. And like talk about what they want to do, how they want to do it, how basically you can be your full self and this, and this, and this. Just whatever they were talking about. Just general, corporate conversation. But they were selling me, not gonna lie. Maybe they sold me too much though. Because I'm like, oh, I could be myself and it's gonna work.
I could be me.
I came in there being unapologetically me and got clipped. I got clipped for a bunch of things and ideas that I had that had to do with community and like just things that I stood for. I'm like, y'all picked me. I didn't apply for this job. Y'all hit me up.
Right.
You know, y'all interviewed me, and I was this.
I was honest about
the way I am with
interview.
you right now was me in the interview.
Right.
I wasn't arrogant. I wasn't cocky. I was just like honest. I was just being very me. Just like, yeah, like, you know, this is what I do. This is how I do it, blah, blah, blah. And the same things that they brought me in for, they clipped me for. And I found that very interesting because I'm like, damn, like, at that time when I was having those conversations, like, you know, the community components weren't attached to it. They were just selling. They were just trying to sell you. And now you see what an influencer is now. It's like, that's the last thing I want to be a part of.
Of course.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I want to have influence, but don't throw the R at the end.
Right,
you know what I'm saying? Like,
that's not what I do. I don't get online to post stuff just to be popular.
Or to sell you something, because that's what they turn that in.
Yes.
And I was like, oh, so years later, and I'm realizing, I'm like, y'all tried to pull me into that world. And I'm like, that's not what I was from the jump. I was never fit for this, you know? And I'm pretty sure I was probably like a little, like, you know, like the gray white horse a bit in the situation. Because I'm like, they're probably just like this unique person, because I wasn't just like sitting there like, I'm excited to be here.
Right.
I felt like, you know, I was excited to be there. Don't get me wrong. I was excited to travel and do those things. But at the end of the day, I didn't, you know, deteriorate myself for that room. For those people in those rooms. And I remember, like, I got into it with my director over there, like, a couple different times. I'm like, yo, like.
Because you felt like they were trying to push you to be something.
Yeah, and I'm like, why am I here? You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all want me, you know, and I realized, like, you know, it's crazy. And I you know, it's all about perspective, right?
Yeah.
Even when I flew me to the UK to go do the Kendrick launch, I remember like being hella excited to go. Well, I look back on it, and if I go back and read them emails, I'm like, oh, I was like the token black kid to be like, we took a kid from the hood to the UK.
Right. And it was more of a story likely for them than 100%. It was for you.
That's
but
all it was.
A lot of times experience, because we didn't have the experience at the time, we don't know that's actually what's happening.
Exactly. I can see through it now, like, you know, clear as day if someone tried to like offer me that. But then I'm also confident enough to make the decision to be like, okay, I can just, you know, let them have that value proposition. I'm going to go benefit it over this way.
Exactly.
But I went out there and I was working. You know what I'm saying? I didn't really, you know, like I had a good time and a good experience, but I was actually working for real. So for me, I'm like, all right, let me approach this differently. Let me, like, you know, I mean, I'm sorry, after I did the experience and, like, you know, that whole thing, and then things got clipped, I started to be, like, able to review, you know, just myself and, like, okay, what did I do right or wrong?
Yeah.
And it's like, when I start thinking like that, I'm like, see, they're trying to get me.
Well, yeah, because I was going to ask you, how are you defining right and wrong, right?
Exactly. It's like, and I say that to say, Bimma, I promise you, that was 16?
Okay.
That was, 5 years ago? The same approach, New Balance let us thrive through. And we sold out in a minute. And I'm not here to talk about the numbers.
No,
I'm just here to say, like, these things actually work when there's real attachments to it, and they work with the right people, because y'all always want to find that core person and community and customer. Y'all just drawing up numbers.
Right.
And if you just worry about numbers, it's going to just be digital, and y'all going to have no attachment to the community.
No emotional, no purposeful connection. It's just anything.
It's just funny, you know, that it's funny because it's actually my first time actually tying the two together. Something you said sparked that, and I'm like, damn, like, I was having these conversations when I didn't even know. And that's what I'm saying. Like, I didn't have no historical background. Like, that wasn't like, you know, every company got like a black union on their thing now. There's always just like the BLM and all this. Everyone has it now.
Everybody
or the community components, or like the local business components, all that kind of stuff. Bro, I was pushing that narrative with so many different conversations, from the Reeboks to the whoever, you know. I was pushing that conversation so many times.
Yeah.
And then it never worked, or it got stolen.
Yeah.
Someone else goes and does it when it becomes a popular topic, and now it's like, oh, y'all remember I brought that up to y'all 3 years ago?
Yeah, but it wasn't
like, we had a sit down.
Yep.
And y'all told me what? Oh, our budgets, we don't really have budget right now. Okay, that's fine. But I just want to bring it up to you.
Right.
And now 3 years later, now it's the hot topic. Now if you don't do it, you're going to be canceled.
Exactly.
Now it's like, oh,
hey, what you doing?
You didn't think they'd bring me back into the room? Okay. It's all good. I'll just keep building my community over here.
Exactly.
You know, because at the end of the day, y'all paying attention to what I'm doing. I don't give a damn what corporate conversation. I don't look at fashion for inspiration whatsoever. I promise to God. Unless I have to on a design level.
Otherwise,
when it comes to the integrity of the brand, I can't name one brand that I can, you know, be like, oh, they do it like this, so we do it this way too.
It's all your point of view through
Yeah.
the influences that influence your
100%.
upbringing in your life. Tell me about, because I'm drawing a connection here between that experience with Reebok. Take me on the connection of, so you're young, you got a ton of ideas, right? You have the confidence to understand that your ideas aren't right or wrong.
Yeah.
It's just that perhaps they're
Timing.
not the timing and the direction of which the people that you were working with weren't the right folks.
Exactly.
Tell me how does that lead into Bricks and Wood?
Yeah, so I started Bricks and Wood 2015.
Okay.
I came up with the name, right? 2015. And I probably didn't really start pushing it until after the, or even doing something remotely close with it until after the Reebok thing.
Yeah.
You know, like they gave me my little last check or whatever, and then I started trying to like make some, I started really just like focusing on that.
Yeah.
And I think that kind of helped spark that, like, you know what, if I can't do it here, I'm gonna do it myself.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I think that's probably one of the most valuable things that I've ever done, or took it as like, okay, when you understand there's no worth in other rooms, you create your worth. You set your price.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? And granted, we all have early ideas that were like, these were cool, or thought were cool, and now they're like, damn, they used to whack. Whatever the case may be. But I was betting on myself. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna just try this.
Of course.
And see what happens. From my first and early Bricks and Wood shoots to this day, like, I used my grandmother's in lookbooks a long time ago. I used my dad in lookbook a long time ago. I used my best friends in lookbooks a long time ago, not models.
Why is that?
Honestly, it was strictly because of the fact that this is what was real to me. And I think when I realized I was in rooms where I was trying to be real for someone, give them real, I was like, you know what? What makes sense to me? How do I make people be like, okay, Kacey Lynch is like, this is his situation? Because the game was, maybe it is now too, but at that time, I remember a super influx in up-and-coming streetwear brands.
Yes.
Everyone was trying to eat. I think people realized there was money in it. They're like, yo, let's get it. It was whatever it was.
It's just like podcasting.
Everybody kind of got sure. But everybody got a podcast in the van, though. But nah, so, I think with that, it was more so like, okay, there's the best way to fit in this space of like millions of other brands that are getting started around the same time as mine or whatever, is to, one thing no one can take from me is me being myself. And that's one thing I've always, from any of those situations, from the Reebok situation, from any situation, it's like nothing that these companies or these people can take from me is myself.
Yeah.
And when you control your narrative, being yourself becomes the most valuable, because that makes you different. Because no matter what, no matter how designs may look, whatever the lookbooks may look, models, whatever, your story is totally different. And that's why I always tell people the story of a product. 'Cause I'm like, I don't make nothing special. I have not created any new clothing item that is innovative. And I don't think I will. I would make clothes that tell stories. I make clothes that tell you where I was inspired from. You know what I'm saying? So when I came with that approach, that just became the DNA. You know what I'm saying? It's literally human first, bro. Like, I was telling my homie this the other day, I'm like, I basically we in South Central, y'all. I basically, well, mid-city, but, same. They're the neighbors. They're the neighbors. I basically try to simplify life for myself, for people. Because I feel like society has tried, especially the society that's against us.
Yeah.
They've tried to make it so difficult. Me and Curtis talk about NDAs all the time.
Oh, my goodness.
Black people didn't make NDAs.
We did not make NDAs.
Where'd that shit come from? Real shit, though. It's like something that seemed just so like mindless, like, okay, yeah, I'm working with blah, blah, I got signed NDA. Why the fuck you got signed NDA? Who created that narrative? It's a restraint and it's tainting people from information.
Yes.
Sorry, earphone came out.
Oh, you good.
It's like, why wouldn't I want to get in a meeting with Jay-Z and then come back and tell everybody about what it was so we can all be like Jay-Z?
So we can build.
Or try.
Right.
That's, you know what I'm saying? Like, I really started seeing things differently, and I'm like, I'm at a point where I really might not ever sign an NDA ever again. I'm trying to figure out I'm going to talk to literally Curtis as my manager to be like, how do we make sure we never sign an NDA ever again?
And so for you, is it so it sounds like you're coming to a place where like it is a deal breaker for you if if in order to work together, to collaborate, I have to sign an NDA.
Yeah, I have to share information. I have to be able to talk about what I'm doing. Not publicly, not to the point where
you're not running off to the media.
Losing the idea. I like the surprises, and I like the whole rollouts and marketing, but that's just marketing and numbers.
Exactly.
Like, I hate when, especially Black people, and especially after I've saw it this way, I'm like, oh man, I can't tell you, but I'm dealing with something big. Tell me,
Tell me.
I need to know what's going on so I know how to get like that too.
Right.
If you're that type of person, but everybody don't think like me, because some people are caught up in that world.
Some people like to hold information.
I'm saying, granted, there is a world in which I will be signing more NDAs, right? Of course. But I'm saying, like, I'm trying to put myself in a position where it's like, you won't even ask me to sign a damn NDA because the respect is there.
Right. You understand where I'm at
and why.
No one
asked Jay-Z to sign the NDA, I can promise you that.
Man, look.
I'm not Jay-Z. I'm not Pharrell. I'm not Ye. I'm not, these people I'm inspired by. But I'm just saying, there's a world in which you can start putting yourself in position or looking at yourself in the mirror like, well, I'm not Jay-Z, because guess what? That man's a human first, too.
He's a human first as well. He does the same things that we do for the most part.
He
right?
wakes up, he drinks water, he, you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
He loves people, I'm sure he calls people, he texts people, he walks, he talks. And I'm saying that I go back to the simplifying point, is like, society has, and again, we were all, I'm sure, in places where we were stuck in this too, because I ain't gonna lie, I didn't have it all figured out. You know what I'm saying? I was probably in a position where I was like, just kissing the ass and following suit at one point in time.
Just thinking that's what we need to do.
I had to do to make it, trust me, especially in LA. I was definitely like that at one point in time for a good amount of years, not gonna lie.
Yeah.
I ain't figured this all out, probably, honestly, confidently, the way I'm speaking about it, till like last year.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I used to get excited when people hit me up like, oh, you want to do a collab? Like, yo, this person want to do a collab. It's like, wait, hold on.
Why?
Exactly.
What are we going to do together? What do you bring that we don't bring?
Exactly.
Are we going to bring a new narrative together?
Exactly.
Right?
It's like, how do we make it not look like the things you've already been doing every single time?
Right.
And that's why I'm very proud of myself and the team for the New Balance things. I'm like, I'm not sitting here trying to be the first to do anything, but I can sit here and confidently, honestly say, from what I've experienced in rollouts and reviews, I have not seen much of anything like this.
Yeah.
Or like how that was.
Tell me about, as we think, so 2015, name was created. You've continued to grow. We're 6 years in, if I'm correct.
Yep,
okay.
Yeah.
So we're 6 years in, and you've had great success already, right? You have LA natives, Anderson .Paak, and you got Tyler Creator, wearing different products. You've been in GQ. The New Balance project happens, and the sneaker drops, but also around the sneaker is, I would say we call it experiential storytelling, right?
Yeah.
You go from installations to product to a film. Tell me, as you continue to grow, like, what's driving that being bigger than just product, right? Because it sounds like the narrative side is just as important to you.
Yeah, it's funny. I'm glad you asked that question, because I feel like a lot of times in my interviews, it gets a little like redundant, same old thing. So it's rare you can talk about the future. So I was like, what you did? It's like, what can you see? And then the last question is, what can we see in the future in Break the Wood? It's like, you know what I'm saying? Whatever. But right now, what's driving like the new and the next is like just the emotional attachment to things. Like, really how these things make you feel, from whether you see something, you hear something, wear something, or use something.
Yeah.
When I say use, it's because I've kind of found this like natural interest to like interior design. And I've been trying to and I'm like, there's not that many, Black male interior designers, especially from South Central. So that's like one little thing. I was like, all right, boom, I got this little, value proposition that I'm like, I can already stand out a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Like, they don't look like me.
Yeah.
So that's dope. But, so I'm trying to get people, I'm trying to attach like something a little bit more tangible, than product all the time.
Yeah.
To tell stories in every way possible on a design level.
Yeah.
Because it's funny, I've never really saw myself a designer, because when I see the designers I do enjoy and respect, all they care about is product, clothing.
And you feel like they're more technical, like...
Exactly.
Okay.
I don't have those technical skills. I don't have the technical knowledge, but I know I can tell a story.
Right.
That's one thing. I know I could talk.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, it's almost like, and I'm not talking I don't mean talk in regards to selling. I mean talk in regards to like conversation on feeling.
Yeah.
Because I get the most inspired. Like, bro, I ain't gonna lie. A lot of times when I'm having quality conversations, like, I be feeling I'm about to start crying. Not because I'm sad, not because of anything. I just literally feel like these moments be beautiful as hell.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I really be like, yo, like, I genuinely enjoy human to human conversation. You know what I'm saying? Like, I genuinely enjoy that. That is my fuel. You know, when I have these moments, bro, I get so excited about life.
My goodness.
I'm like, everything. I'm like, even if it don't, like, I don't have nothing figured out.
Yeah, yeah.
And a lot of times I don't. I tell people that all the time. I'm like, bro, I just try every day.
I love that you said that, because I think a lot of times when people might see you and you kind of spoke about it earlier, they see you and they say, Kacey Bricks and Wood.
Yeah.
Right? But they don't think about, like, and then a lot of times they think you got it all figured out. Right? And I think the important thing to understand for a lot of folks is that we're all trying to figure out every day.
Every day.
Right?
Literally.
We're inspired by new things every day. You never know what's going to influence, you were talking about your film, you talking about doing it at a theater. Like, that was 3 days.
Yeah, just like, it's just a spur of the moment. Like, yo, okay, it's like you said, it's like, okay, wait. We had to, like, stop ourselves because we were, like, going so fast on drop and release and Instagram rollouts, and we were like, hold on. Before we, like, these are great, but how do we not fall into an area that we said we didn't want to fall into? Because we start following the hype a little bit. We're like, wait, slow down. We're about to drop a film that's a short film. What can we do? We spent all this money, we spent all this time and effort. It can't live on IGTV. It can't just live on a website. What can we do? We was like, I randomly was like, yo, let's just figure out, let's round a theater. Is that possible? Is that crazy? Curtis was like, we have to.
Yeah.
We have to just figure that out. That's the only way. That's the only way. Now. And we have restrictions, of course, of seating and all that because of COVID, but we had to just figure that out. And we just started making phone calls, looking up spots, and just sending emails, and we made it happen, bro.
What do you think about, because I wanted to touch on that, you decided to get outside of the digital world there.
Yeah.
Right? And I feel like so many brands right now, everything's probably digital first, do this, tell your story, build your brand here.
For sure.
But your instinct, your natural instinct told you, we need to do something more.
Yeah.
What was that? What do you think that was?
I think that was just going back to the integrity of the brand, and what was been instilled from the jump was like, we were always talking about human first. We were all talking about experience first. We were always talking about, how to connect with humans first. Always.
Yeah.
So, like I said, though the New Balance name was attached and it was a bigger thing that was bigger than us, it's New Balance in collaboration with Bricks and Wood. We didn't collaborate with New Balance. They collaborate with us. That's just the honest to God truth.
Yeah.
And that has a lot of weight in how you perceive that.
Of course.
So we had to stick to our own guns. Like, okay, wait. We're falling too deep into the drop schedule, into like the hype of the drops.
Feeling like you needed to be present through that way.
Exactly. And to the point where even post-drop, as you may have seen, I did the little fake tour.
Yes.
And we went to Chicago, went to New York. It's like,
you and
I still
connected
wanted
with Joe Fresh.
Yeah, I wanted to stop people from buying them online. Or I'm like, you know what? Let's stop that. Don't sell them right now. Let's wait a day. I'll come to y'all.
Yeah.
Let's make sure that it's something more tangible with this. And let me find out who if you like New Balance or you like Bricks and Wood.
Yeah.
Let's find out, which is fine. And I found both.
Huh.
And it's tight. But I think it's just, again, if New Balance is collaborating with Bricks and Wood, it's important to control the customer a bit and be like, okay, we're going to make sure that you still get it our way. Because the New Balance way, and no disrespect to that, is we're going to drop it, it's going to be hype, it's going to sell out, boom, next collab.
And then go to the next.
Exactly. Let me slow this moment down for y'all because I'm not going to get my first shoe ever again.
Wow.
So, and this is the first shoe. This is New Balance to LA. This is me having a bigger and grander audience that I didn't have prior. I'm using the numbers attachment to bring you into the real attachment to the brand, the real conversation that we have. Whether you take it or not, take it or leave it. But I'm going to give that effort to be like, I'm sorry, New Balance, or not that they were mad about it or anything, but it's like, this is who I am.
Yeah.
This is who we are. And then y'all decide to hit me up to do this. This is how it has to go.
So I wanted to revisit with you about that topic of you're really good at managing your brand, regardless of who else is involved, right? And so to me, we had an interview with this artist in town named Lacey Jordan, right? And Lacey was sharing how she had just got her first project with Jordan Brand. She's a sneakerhead.
Okay.
And she's from Alabama. And so, a lot of things, when you travel up from the South and you come to these different places, you kind of carry these narratives on you.
For sure.
And she remembers a moment when she was initially designing this project, and they came to her and they were like, hey, we didn't hire you because we wanted Jordan. We hired you because we wanted Lacey Jordan.
That's that.
And so for you though, like, have you always felt like that protective around your brand and making sure like you go out of your way to make sure that just as equally as the other brand collaborators there, that's just as equally as Bricks and Wood is there?
Yeah, that's been my approach from the jump. Because I always knew that if it were to hit and become successful, and I say this to this day, that it gets to the point where what you see Stussy as is not what Sean Stussy wanted you to see it as. So when you have autonomy around whatever you're presenting, it's important that you just hold on to that for as long as you can. And not exactly give it up, but if you give it up, that's you being less. That's the point where you're like, you know what? The world has it now.
Yeah.
It's time to sell it. Or it's time to be like, someone else is in charge.
Yeah.
It's okay. It's time to Jeff Bezos situation. Terrible example. But just being honest. You know what I'm saying? I'm saying, that man grinded. Like, at the end of the day, he worked. How he worked, can't tell you. Maybe not my way of working, but we seen that image of it with the Amazon spray painted on the back of a canvas, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, we seen that in his messy little office.
Yep.
And we all buy on Amazon. So it's like, it's like, what I'm saying is, I've always had like this understanding of the future and what it could be and what it couldn't be. And I always tried to like understand the brand from other perspectives.
Yeah.
Because there's the hype guy, there's the guy that's like us, the storytellers, the ones who actually read the captions.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like, there's those people. But then there's so many different levels of the audience. Yeah. So I like to say customer. That sounds like again number based. But there's so many levels of the audience and different people that see the brand and might like it for different ways and different reasons. So I understood that initially. So I was like, you know what? It's important for me to feed self and feed my real experience as much as I can into it. Because even though I say from South Central and a South Central company, we ship all over. You know what I'm saying? So there's someone who's never even been to South Central that's buying our clothes. There's something that they see in Bricks and what they like. Maybe it's a South Central element. Maybe they're admiring the idea of what it is. Maybe it's fantasizing it, whatever, right? But then it's also like, maybe it's like, they're just very transparent.
Yeah.
They're honest. You can tell that you're talking to someone or someone's actually typing this out that didn't go to school for social media marketing and or there's not an editor that's typing. Like, I be having typos in my captions all the time, bro.
Same.
You know what I'm saying? But I don't care. Now I'll go back and fix them. Like,
I can still go fix them. But again, it's
not
human.
Exactly.
And I think that's so important. I love your perspective around it because, just like you have worked at brands and then at the corporations, right? Things like that aren't necessarily acceptable. And it's weird because it's actually not how we are.
Typos in a caption might get you fired for any certain company. You do that with Nike, Nike's probably gonna clip you. I'm assuming. Like, that's how, but I'm saying, like, we've lost that connect of like who you are.
Right. If I'm, we're not having a perfect conversation. You know what I mean? Like, we don't have a script. Right? When whatever we do later on today is not like this perfectly scripted thing that you're gonna see online.
Nope.
And I think it's interesting that gets lost. And I think I appreciate, as you being someone who's creating something for our generation, the next generation, that is another example of like how you can do this.
Exactly. And I think to kind of touch back on the initial topic that we spoke about before, like I said, I might not have the most politically correct approach on like what I do for the Black community. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like my transparency, my honesty, and my approach is something that can be reflected the same way it reflected from my pops. I've not once ever said Black-owned business. Does that not mean I don't like Black people? But I feel like it's almost like, I'm pretty sure there's somebody in the world who's like, if I don't promote that, and I don't have all Black people on my staff or something, that I'm not for my own kind. When this just became a hyperactive conversation a year ago.
Right. And a lot of times the people that have been hyperactive aren't even from our community.
100%.
Right? And so you can't tell me what it means to me.
Exactly.
Because I don't do it the way that someone else might.
Exactly. And I think what I'm saying, and I say that to say is like, you know, I respect the guys who do the physical work and the verbal work and do the whole nine. I respect it. I admire it. And I love it. But we need the balance of everything else. We need a Jay-Z the same way we need a Kanye. We need a Jay-Z who's going to go and get in the room and make the things happen and show you that you can do it. Then we need someone like Kanye who's going to rant about it. You know what I'm saying? Like, we need that. We need both. You know, you gotta find a balance in both. And I feel like, again, bricks and wood in the name, my life and from experiences has always had this balanced perspective, similar to the purple. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's always been green. It's not red or blue. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, for me, I'm trying to like I'm always trying to find that middle ground. How do I give you a little bit of both? How do I spoon feed you this and this? But also in a way where it's like, I'm not being deemed for not doing it certain ways, but that's just human perspective on another level, right? But it's just like, you know, trying to understand those values and understand that perspective is like I guess I try to simplify it.
Yeah, totally.
Because I feel like we make it difficult for ourselves. Where it's like, damn, like, little do you know, we're on the same team. Malcolm X, Martin Luther King.
Same team.
Same team.
Same team.
Same
objective.
Same objective. But they had issues.
Yeah.
Because Malcolm felt like Martin wasn't this, and Martin felt like Malcolm was too aggressive.
And imagine if...
Jesus Christ. I don't even want to talk about it. Because it's like, imagine, because that never happened.
Yeah.
It was like they just kind of respected each other, but it wasn't like they were friends.
Yeah.
I really think Malcolm didn't like Martin Luther King at all, to be honest. So, you know what I'm saying? But I'm like, with that being said, it's like you said, imagine if there was just like this, you know what, you can do it your way, I do it my way, but we can still come together.
Right.
You know, and we can still come together in a way where it's like, we're both pushing the same narrative, and we're both supporting each other.
Yes.
And not saying, you doing it soft, and you doing it, exactly.
Yeah.
So.
When you think about, you know, you think very futuristically, right?
Yeah.
And you talked about like taking bricks and woods into different places. You talked about being inspired by interior design and different things over the past year. Where do you know, maybe in a more immediate, without, you know, I don't want you to reveal something you're not ready to reveal, but where do you see things going? Where do you want to push next?
Man, just experiences, man. Just really just like, again, that emotional attachment to the brand and to the product. When we're talking about bricks and wood particularly, like, I want you to find purpose in the brand and find purpose in the product that we decide to release, whether that is a chair or a bench or a coaster or a t-shirt or a hoodie, beanie, whatever, right? I want you to find that emotional attachment to it. I want you to understand what went into it. And I want people to get more in depth with the process and what got us here.
Yeah.
You know, because we're expanding in a way that I think is going to shock people a bit, but it's also going to probably make you feel like that actually makes a lot of sense. Like, doing it this way is kind of expected without you consciously expecting it.
Yeah.
You know, so I just see it going, I think, to not in like, again, the NDA way, but in the way of like just still being private and, you know, to create that moment still. I see it just being something that don't be surprised if we start having meditation, you know, sessions. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I've said that, like, I really want to attach with people and see, like, I want to give everybody the reason to have bricks and wood in a different way.
Yeah.
Oh, I know bricks and wood because they got the pizza shop down the street. You know, I like bricks and wood. Yeah, they got the t-shirts. They got the clothes. Oh yeah, bricks and wood. I got one of their chairs in my house. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's a different feeling. That's a different emotion that the brand gives you and offers. And I think we're just in an expanding process. And then I think even with product and the traditions of rollouts and core inline things that we do, or, you know, that we will make, I think it's also like recreating that feeling. You know what I'm saying? And enhancing that tangible experience. You know what I'm saying?
My goodness, man. I'm super excited. Obviously, I think a lot of other people are excited as well when we get there and when we see that. I know you know, the advice question is a you know, an interesting one, but more so from the perspective of if I'm you in 2015 and I'm at that experience at Reebok, and you know it's completely not aligned with my core values. But I kind of am thinking like I do want to go this creative entrepreneurial route, but I just you know trying to work through like how do I do that? But based from your like origin and your way of doing that, what advice might you have there?
I think just really honestly don't limit yourself. Because I feel like at one point I thought I wanted to be like a fashion designer. And I realized later, like, okay, wait, I actually enjoy, like, I don't know, I didn't, like, to this moment, I'm like, outside of being like a public speaker or activist, right? It's like, how do you make a career out of like connecting with people? You know, like in terms of like, how do I make a career by having a conversation with you one-on-one?
Right.
Outside of being like a therapist and that kind of thing, like nothing too specific, right? It's like, how do I make money by having tearful conversations with my friends? You know what I'm saying? Like just being like, yo, we just talking as humans and as brothers and as Black people or whatever.
Right.
And that's like,
that's it.
That's all I want to do, bro. That's literally all I want to do. I just want to sit and talk to people and have a good time. And just like, and you know, do things that honestly the world that you can't make money from. You don't really make money by just, I mean, you can in different ways, right? But all the things that I can't exactly make money from is like, how do I build that infrastructure within my own? So the advice, what I'm trying to say is like, understand that like, you might use certain outlets as ways to express yourself. And I think for one, make sure you're pushing whatever you're doing to showcase yourself in different lights and different perspectives. I don't care what you do. I don't care if you design. I don't care if you play ball. I don't care if you do anything. Make sure that when whatever you're doing, you're giving your flavor to the game, to the industry, or to your IG, TikTok, or I don't care what you do, literally. Be you. Because that's why people watch different TikToks, because this one's different than that one.
Exactly.
You know, they might do the same dance, but he edited his way better.
Exactly. Did it a different way.
Whatever.
Different perspective. Little twist.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's okay to understand that we all, and also understand that like, you can't, it's like you're trying to be different and like my homie said this one time, he's like, everybody trying to be the same type of different.
Man.
And that's probably one of the realest things I ever heard. So I'm like, we got to stop that understanding. Be self. Different in self is, the funny part about being yourself is that when you're truly yourself, you are different because everything is trying to be the same. Everything's so constructed to like, you know what I'm saying? So like, again, not to sound cliche, but to simplify it, the more you are in tune with yourself, the more you get in tune with yourself spiritually. And I used to be kind of afraid to say that in fashion-esque conversations because I'm like, I'm going to lose them. But I had to stop denying and like, bro, I'm not here for no reason, bro. I believe in God. And I'm going to say that with my chest up. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm here for a spiritual reason. And I'm not talking about religion, you know, it's a different thing. It's a whole different thing. I'm talking about connecting with your inner self that has nothing to do with me being able to put these pants on, to put these clothes on, to shake your hand. When you're by yourself, when you're feeling your feelings, when you're thinking, when you're whatever, when you're emotional, all those things, connect with those things and look at them as value for you as a human. And the journey, the advice part becomes weird for me because I can't pinpoint you through what you would experience. You see what I'm saying? Like, my whole origin, I was born into a whole different story than you, no matter what. We could have been born the same day, same time. You know what I'm saying? But my conversations and how I see life is already different from the first word my mom or dad said to me to the first word your mom or dad said to you. So it's like getting in tune with self is the best thing you can do, because you don't worry about not having an idea no more. You don't worry about not having it figured out. You just know you feel good about waking up every day and going into your workspace and getting into the zone. And you allowing yourself to receive anything that you need as a tool to be successful. I don't even know if I can be unsuccessful, to be honest with you. I don't know what that means anymore. Because if I'm trying, I'm winning.
I'm winning.
If I'm here today, I woke up, I won. I'm beating stats every day. Me and you beating stats every day, bro, especially from our people.
Yes.
Come on, dog. So I think it's very important, and I'm trying to find that spiritual connect with the brand too. as an add-on to the initial question, is like, how do I make this feel, or how do I get people to understand bricks and wood on a spiritual level?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a deep conversation. It's deep rooted, right?
Yep.
But how do I do that through product, or how do I do it in conversation, or how do I do that in caption, or how do I do that through my website? How do I do that through, whatever? But my advice is, man, don't worry about the substance of what's out there, because nothing is really new anymore. It's all technology, and things have made it so easy to just duplicate and remake so many things. It's like, those days is over with. Don't get me wrong. There's still good things out there. We still buy and like physical things every day. But the advice I can give is like I said earlier, don't ask for advice. Look in the mirror. Find yourself. And I mean in a spiritual way.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And let that drive everything. Everything will literally flow for you, bro. Literally. You don't got to worry about nothing. I don't have nothing planned until like another month and a half. Man. And even when I got going a month and a half, it ain't even figured out yet.
It ain't figured out yet.
But guess what? I know when it comes out, when it's time, it's going to be what's supposed to be.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?